And good morning, everyone. Welcome to this day. It is a Friday, and it is a March 6th. We got a nice day out today as far as the weather goes, but we're in for maybe about 6 days of light to heavy rain. I'll tell you about that in just a moment. On our show today, Senator John Moorlach is here. He is, of course, the 37th district, which is this district, and he's going to talk about several things, what's going on with the state, how they're preparing for the COVID-19 virus, and working with the Orange County Health Department on that. Also, Cash Akrakar is here, going to give us an update with United. And we have Sterling Financial Advisors Dan Ohlweiler. He's actually going to talk about over the years, obviously the stock market has dropped a lot, but his topic is really over the years how viruses and whether they're epidemics or whatever it might be, how they affected the markets over the years. And it's quite interesting because in many cases, the markets actually went up. So he brought along a slide, and we'll take a look at that. And then we have Pastor Leland Lance and Marcia here from the Lutheran Church tell you about their upcoming events. As far as meetings today, there is one, and that is the third agenda prep meeting. That will be at 9:30 in the Sycamore Room. Now, let's get to the weather. And, today, pretty darn nice. We got that fog layer out, pretty thick fog layer, as a matter of fact. And in fact, when I was leaving work today, you could barely see down the block. But that's going to dissipate. We're going to have some pretty nice mild weather today, partly cloudy a little bit. But let's look forward here. Now, over the weekend, we're not looking at much rain at all. This is a very scattered, light system, 20% on both days, maybe a total of Saturday and Sunday we're looking at certainly less than 1/4 of an inch, maybe only 1/10 of an inch. But then here we go, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and maybe Thursday, particularly on Tuesday and Wednesday. We're looking at Monday, the rain coming in probably later on in the evening, 9, 10 o'clock at night, and then gaining strength overnight. And on Tuesday and Wednesday, we could be looking at anywhere from 1 inch to maybe 1.5 inches on both days. So a total of maybe 3 inches between those. And then it could spill over into Thursday morning. So Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday possibly. This is going to be really the first real storm we've had of 2020. Didn't get anything in January to speak of, or February, except for a little bit here and there. This is going to be a real storm that's coming in with possible thunderstorms associated with it as well. Looking around the state this weekend, Northern California is getting rain more on today and Saturday, and then as we move our way down here, for us it'll be Saturday and Sunday. So some snow coming to the Sierras overnight tonight and into tomorrow. And then as we make our way down here, we'll start seeing some of that scattered rain on, around Orange County and LA. Not much at all, again, to be honest. But as we get into next week, that is really when we're going to start to see it. We'll probably see a good amount of snow in the mountains as well. All right, we'll be back in just a moment.
Jacobson McCall have created Agent 55, a real estate firm focused on 55-plus communities.
Agent 55 and the marketing technology allows us to deliver even more to buyers and sellers.
Everyone respects Kelly's over 30 years experience as a top sales producer and trusted expert within 55-plus communities.
Agent 55 has great knowledge of Laguna Woods.
Agent 55 offers something powerful and unique. We guarantee it. Ask us how.
Through my window, I see the first sunlight, and I feel the warm ocean breeze. I see the waves that lulled me all night. That's what my window brings me.
Look at this.
That view is $1 million. It's
It's amazing we can look at these kinds of places within our budget.
You don't have a bad view from here anywhere you look.
It's all about the view. Sunday night is Beach Night. Sunday night at 8, only on HGTV.
Love, Sex, and the Big City. A musical comedy features fictional stars who lived at the Barbizon Hotel. Why is Sister Umagod in witness protection? Pop singer Kiki is from Cuba, or is she? Irma Diamond recalls her start with the hot flushes. Mary Lou, the mousy housewife, has a killer secret. Tickets on sale now. Show runs March 13th through 15th.
I was very, very ill with diabetes, fibromyalgia to where I couldn't stand up and walk. The chest pain was so bad, I was hospitalized twice. I totally would recommend coming here to Dr. Tong to avoid drugs and pharmaceuticals that really don't cure you. Now I don't need the medication for diabetes. I feel great. I have more mental clarity. I feel that life is better.
Call today for your free phone consultation.
Welcome back. Right now we have Senator John Moorlach. He is, of course, the 37th district, which is this district, and other areas as well. It goes all the way up to Foothill Ranch, and it's kind of elongated district, isn't it? Kind of inches it way up.
Like a square. It's got like Huntington Beach, Laguna Beach, up to Anaheim Hills, all in Orange County, which is really helpful.
Yeah. Well, welcome. Good to see you here today.
Good to be back.
Yeah, we saw you a while back, so a few things you want to talk about today. And of course, one is the virus, the COVID-19 virus, and the OC Health Department has issued some statements about that. I mentioned last night, I thought CNN had a 2-hour program on it with all kinds of people, and it was really very informative of what they said.
Yeah, I think as we were kind of discussing before we came on air, that the last thing you want to do is just create a panic. And that's been maybe my frustration. When the governor called me, or his office called me a week ago Thursday and said, we're going to move 16 passengers from the Diamond Princess cruise ship that was off of the coast of Japan. We're going to move them to Costa Mesa, to the Fairview Developmental Center. It was like, why would you do that? And it was sort of, I was told that, and I had to keep it quiet, which was awkward. But the city of Costa Mesa did not react well. And they should not have reacted well. Why would you put 16 people that test positive in a county that it is the second most densely populated in the state? We're just behind the city and county of San Francisco. Why would you put people that are infected 12 miles from Disneyland? I mean, it just did not compute. So the problem I've been having with the governor and with the Department of, we call it the OES, Office of Emergency Services, and we have the health, is great, you've got a plan, but boy, you're implementing it so poorly. It's like you're flat-footed, you're catching, and you're spooking people. And that's been the problem. And we got people in my district, they're saying, my wife cried all day long once she found out they were going to move these people into the county. I was like, okay, Governor, let's think this through. You have 37,000 locations, and all you need is a bedroom and a bathroom. I mean, that's a hotel. And so we actually have an infinite number of locations. Why in such a densely populated area? So that's been the fun start of the coronavirus for me as a state senator. But the health agency, Dr. Ghali, the rest, they're stepping up, they're communicating, which is what you do in a crisis, right? You keep communicating. We have to calm people down. And as you said, it's like a flu. It's not going to hit all of us. It's, it's just going to be, something that can be contained. So let's be calm and smart about it.
And I, watching that, it was like a 2-hour special on CNN last night. And, I'm not the biggest fan of CNN, but this was very, very well done, even going back to other viruses that they've had. And they had, I said, Dr. Sanjay Gupta, who's pretty well respected, a few other people as well. And they said the biggest hysteria that you need to be worried about is the hysteria part of it. The market's dropping and all this. And for the average person, your chances of getting it are very slight, far slighter than getting the regular flu. And what I thought was really interesting, they brought on a person, somebody who was older, and who got it. And he goes, you had a fever for about 8 hours, and then it was like having an extremely mild cold for a few days, and then boom, that was it. And they said, yeah, for most people, whoever may get this, that's what it's going to be. It's the usual cases, people who have immune deficiency and diabetes they mentioned and things like that. That's true of any flu.
Yeah, and my concern was don't shoot yourself in the foot.
Right.
Don't give reason for people to be spooked or panicked.
Right.
They're like sheep. If you get a jackrabbit can scare
Right.
sheep and you run all over the place. But we're seeing Costco's being cleared out.
Yes.
We're seeing all these products being off the shelf.
Right.
And then the ironies of certain things like face masks, if you wanted to buy them,
Right.
they're manufactured in China.
Yeah.
So maybe we've got to rethink where we
Right.
produce and manufacture products,
Yeah.
our shipping protocols. We have way too many pharmaceutical drugs manufactured in China.
Right.
And maybe on the federal level, and I'm not at the federal level, I'm at the state level,
Yeah.
but at the federal level, maybe there's got to be a lot of rethinking,
Right.
just strategically from a national defense standpoint.
Yeah, you brought up a very good point. I'm glad you said face masks because they talked about that last night. One, all of them said it causes more harm than good because those face masks that people are buying are designed to be used for maybe an hour. A lot of people are buying woodworking. And what happens, they get moist, and now you have more of an ability for whatever's in the air to stick to the face mask, and they're all porous to get right through it. And they said they actually cause more harm than good. And yes, if you yourself have a cold or something you want to prevent getting other people, but just for people walking around, they were just going, they're useless.
Yeah.
And they're not designed to be used that way. Yeah.
And so for a lot of my constituents, they found it rather ironic that the Grand Princess cruise line is being kept off the coast of California
Right.
and not being allowed to deboard in San Francisco until passengers are cleared. So,
Yeah.
so we're all getting maybe a little smarter.
Yeah.
But the
Yeah.
ironies have not escaped my constituents by
Right.
saying, well, why would you put them at Fairview Developmental Center?
Yeah, yeah. Well, let's move on. You want to give us a status update just in general of what's going on with the state?
Well, we're having fun. We've got the budget from the governor in January. We start now with our budget committees. It started
Okay.
yesterday for me. I'm on Subcommittee 5, which oversees the criminal justice system, judiciary. So started getting reports on what we can do to help individuals, with recidivism and new programs. So that's going. This year, we're still working with PG&E. I'm Vice Chair of Energy, Utilities, and Communications.
Okay.
So dealing with energy producers and consumers has been a big amount of time. I've been focused on the mental health area. Been working on how do we deal with the homelessness.
Right.
A high percentage of the homeless have some kind of mental illness, mostly schizophrenia. How do we get them medicated and treated? Dealing with the Lanterman-Petra Short Act, which the governor mentioned with his State of the State last month, and Laura's Law, something I helped implement in Orange County as a supervisor, but also statewide. Orange County was the second county to adopt Laura's Law, and we've had 17 follow. And all the analysis that I've gotten so far has said, why don't the other counties also adopt Laura's Law, which deals with mentally ill people, trying to get them into an assisted outpatient treatment program. So, okay, what medication, since we have good medication, what do you need, what dosage, and how do you stay on it so that you can mainstream again? And we have stories of people that were on the streets and they were treated and now they're managing their lives.
Yeah.
But we're leaving them on the streets unmedicated because they have their civil rights. And at least Governor Gavin Newsom has said, we've got to look at this differently. So I'm there to help him. I met with him and said, hey, I'm in that space. I did a bill, SB 640, which was just killed in January by the Health Committee, to just expand the definition of gravely disabled so we can help more people. The Lanterman, just to keep going, the Lanterman-Petra Short Act, back in the late 60s said, hey, mental institutions are maybe cruel and inhumane, so they closed them with the assumption that there would be community services to help them out.
Right.
But they didn't. They migrated to the streets and now to the jails. So the largest mental institution in Orange County is the downtown jail in Santa Ana. And so we can do better. And I'm working with the governor in that space. And we're still looking at finances, trying to make sure everyone's aware that there are significant liabilities on the balance sheets of our cities, our school districts, counties, our community colleges. And we got to get in that 12-step process. We got to get people to step one to say, hey, there is an issue. How do we better manage our money?
Right, and when you speak of that, of course, as far as I know, Proposition 13 failed, the bond measure.
Right, it was the big surprise, I think, of Tuesday night.
Right.
Voters in California normally approve bonds like 90% of the time. But maybe we're at a tipping point, Ken. Maybe people are saying, hey, time out. You guys are not managing Sacramento properly. Why should we pay double? Principal and then interest. When you've got $21 billion you're sitting on this year, $7 billion projected for next year. Why are we borrowing? And stop it. We've got so much debt as it is. So I was very surprised.
I was too. And even most of the local bond measures or the school boards, the school district that we're involved in, and I think a couple of them went through. I think I think it's called Santa Ana Community College District, whatever. I think it's called something like that. I think that went through, one in Tustin, but almost all the others failed, and failed by a decent amount. So you're right. I think people are taking a step back.
Well, it increases your property taxes. So with a housing shortage, which the state has sort of allowed to happen, our kids are paying a whole lot more for a house.
Right.
And so 1% of a $700,000 house is $7,000 a year, plus school bond payments. I mean, it's like our kids are struggling as it is.
Yeah.
So what are we doing? Why do we keep choking out their budgets when they're supposed to be raising kids right now? And but they're working and paying for childcare. That doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
And so I think we're waking up, and that was very encouraging to me.
Yeah, and it's not to say that some of these places need updates, and I certainly know the district that my wife works in and my daughter goes to, it certainly is needed, but to put that on a 25 or 30-year mortgage, so to speak, I think that's the issue.
And they should have been setting funds aside. It's like part of your budget, 6% is maintenance, but maybe you add a little bit more.
Right.
Set it aside for these projects for remodeling, redoing, or improving your properties. We have homeowners associations that you have to pay dues, and you have to set aside reserves for new roofs, new roads, new paint, but government doesn't do that. They require it of us, but they're not setting a good example at all. And boy, if I had a magic wand, that would be the bill I'd love to get passed. Is Caltrans and the rest set money aside for the future, but we have a mentality that there's any kind of reserve. Oh, let's give more pay raises and more pensions and more retirement benefits, and they say, wait, time out. What about the users? That are paying for all this.
What about the surplus in the state? I've heard it's $22 billion. Is that something you think that should be used, for instance, instead of the bond measure they tried to get passed, maybe use some of that money? Isn't that, in a sense, reserves? I know it's good to have it there in case there's a catastrophe. I understand that. But what's your take on that?
Well, we've done a good job of building the rainy day fund, and we're setting more aside. But when you have debt like pension debt that's charging 7% a year, where all other lending is 2-3%, you would be wise to just reduce your pension liabilities as much as possible now while you can, because that will reduce the payments required in the future. It really pays a good dividend. So the governor at least put $6 billion into his budget for last year. I would have encouraged him to do more. And again, this year, because it has a benefit going forward, because we're leaving way too much in debt to our kids and our grandkids.
Right. Now, again, you mentioned the budget. What is quickly the process of that? Is it the governor's staff that first come up with the initial budget, his cabinet, so to speak, and then it gets presented to the Assembly and Senate?
We have a Department of Finance that puts it together in conjunction with the governor. And Gavin Newsom is a real wonk. He really gets into the weeds. If you go to his budget press conference, he's there for a couple hours going through page by page. So he's got a good grasp of what he's trying to do, and they're working together. So the Department of Finance puts it together. It goes to both the state and the Senate, and the Assembly, and we have our own budget committees. I'm on budget and fiscal review, and they've also got me on the subcommittee 5, which I mentioned earlier, which oversees the criminal justice system. And so we meet and dig into each component of our respective share of the budgets. And then as we get closer to June 15, the last couple of years, they put me on the budget conference committee.
Okay.
So there's 5 of us from the Senate, 5 from the Assembly, 2 Democrats, 2 Republicans, 3 Democrats both. And so we get together and we iron out our differences. We vote on where we're a little different, and then we try to get that approved to the governor so the legislature has input, yes or no, on what he wants to do. And then we put it all together, and then we vote on it. And then we have trailer bills, which is sort of a different subject. But then we get the budget to the governor by the 15th of June.
Okay.
So I don't fly out back home until late Thursday evenings because I'm usually in budget hearings all day Thursday.
All right. Well, we'll see what happens there. And I want to thank you for coming on. Anything else you'd like to add?
Oh, you're great, Ken, as usual.
Well, I appreciate that.
We could talk for 8 hours.
We could.
There's so much going on.
It would be fun to talk to you.
Yeah.
Maybe you'll come down here. We'll do a whole half-hour show.
That'd be fun.
Sometime with you. That'd be fantastic. Senator, thank you very much.
Thank you,
fist
Ken.
bump there.
There you go.
Keep things safe. And we'll see you next time.
Please.
All right? If you want more information, the website address is a little convoluted to get. If I spelled it all out for you, just look up Senator John Morlock online, and you'll be linked right to his state Senate page and local office, and that's the easiest way to go.
Perfect.
All right, we'll be right back.
Did you know there are over 400,000 seniors in Orange County today? So where does a senior or family caregiver go for information and resources? You can turn to the Answers Guide published by the Council on Aging Southern California. Answers is full of articles and resources to help you navigate the aging experience. You can pick up your free copy today at the clubhouse nearest you or at the Social Services Office. The Council on Aging, helping seniors remain healthy, connected, and protected.
I'm a strong believer that there's something for everyone out there. But some people never stop searching. I've looked long and hard through these parts, and I thank my lucky stars I stumbled across a special place, a unique place, where you never know what you'll find. The Trading Post, only on Channel 6.
Get out and live your life with the Buzz Around XL travel scooter from Golden. The Buzz Around is fun to drive with a tight indoor turning radius so you can go just about anywhere. It's also so easy to charge and offers all-day range so you can go further. The Buzz Around even has more leg and foot room for all-day driving comfort. Be safe with the XL's ultra-bright LED headlight. Plus, the Buzz Around XL can be easily taken apart into several lightweight pieces. See for yourself just how easy and affordable mobility freedom can be.
Hi, I'm Vince Ferragamo. I spent some of my best years as an NFL quarterback, but today I've got a new team, and we're helping seniors who spent their best years fighting for our country, defending our freedom, and informing the nation. Our hometown heroes need help. AgeWell Senior Services is their lifeline. Nonprofit AgeWell can do all of this because you care enough to give. Please join me in supporting AgeWell. Donate today.
Well, we have Cash Akrakar here today, and he's talking about United Chargeable Services and the Handyman program and how it is progressing, as you call it here, Handyman Part B. Right?
Thank you.
Great to have you here today. Let's talk about the Handyman Task Force. It's been successful in introducing. Of course, it works with the private company of Neighboring, which is a wonderful service.
Yeah, there's a young kid, Josh Modell. He started the company. He got over 150 college students who want to help themselves earn some money and pay their education. And he background checked everybody, and they're willing to wear the dress code, so we can identify them. So everything works. And $25 an hour is the first hour rate.
Yeah.
And he deserves a pat on his back.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
I think that's a good program.
Yeah, very, very much is.
Yeah. And what we have done is just a minuscule, 1/3 or 1/2 of our handyman program from last. And the next phase we are getting ready to introduce, so people are happy and they can get chores done, little bigger chores that need expertise, professionalism, things like carpentry work and plumbing work and electrical work, things of that nature.
Yeah, things that neighboring does not do. So this is, would you call chargeable services, which of course they have in third.
Yeah.
And this would be things that aren't covered by the mutual, as far
because
as...
when altered, all the altered things are not covered by mutual. They're the responsibility of the owner or the individual shareholder.
Yeah.
So what we've done is now we got our staff, VMS, Village Management Service staff, to come in and provide the service so people know that they are getting safe people coming in their homes and help them with their altered units or altered things like maybe their dishwasher fails or their oven doesn't work right or whatever. Little things, or they have plumbing problems and their leaks and stuff like that can be corrected. And these are provided at the cost. So there's no extra charges. These are strictly not dipping into the common cost.
And of course, if it's something, let's say you have a dishwasher that was put in by United, well, that's not a chargeable service at all. But if you put in your own dishwasher, as an example, there's something that would be, you'd have to be responsible for. And you could go outside to get somebody or whatever, or use chargeable services to do that. That's up to you.
Our costs are comparable with outside services, but advantage is who's coming in your home. And you're getting a seal of approval somewhat from the United Board in a way. But if we are not asking you to use chargeable services strictly, it's up to you. It's a service we are providing our members.
And of course the handyman program would not do something like that, but they would rearrange your furniture for you or whatever it might be.
Small tasks, basically, that we need to do, such as flipping your mattress or changing a light bulb or even assembling IKEA furniture and things of that nature, or help with your computers.
In other words, what the handyman program does is provide for you maybe something you used to do years ago on your own, or maybe you could still do now, but you just don't want to do.
Exactly.
That's why I have a gardener and mow my front grass. I just don't want to do it.
Exactly. So we are trying to make our people happy and more at ease, and
that's great. Different programs.
That's the whole idea. This community is for seniors, in a way. But 55 and over.
Now this information is online. People can find it?
Yes, and the chargeable services is being introduced this coming Tuesday. And it will be online if the resolution is passed.
Very good.
And hopefully we will use them from April something, but I'm not sure. It all depends.
You have to check out the meeting coming up next Tuesday. Anything else you'd like to add?
Well, basically that's it. Be safe and take care of yourself, your neighbors, get to know your neighbors, volunteer a little bit, because if nothing, the pay is really good. That guy up there gives you brownie points.
All right.
So,
Cash, it's always good to see you.
Thank you so much.
You take care.
You too.
All right, we'll see you next time, and we'll be right back.
Have a great weekend, everybody.
I'm Ann Mundell Noel, audiologist and owner of Amazing Hearing. As an audiologist, I have the education and expertise to assess, diagnose, and treat hearing loss. Hearing aids are only one part of the treatment process. The way we have been taught to fit, counsel, and use hearing therapy is what makes us different. Amazing Hearing. Audiologists with the education, expertise, and empathy to change how you hear.
The all-new 3-row Subaru Ascent. Room for up to 8 passengers. Choice of second-row captain's chairs or bench seating. Standard EyeSight driver assist technology. Coming from Kelley Blue Book's most trusted brand for 4 years running. The Subaru Ascent. Love is now bigger than ever.
Irvine Subaru. Get your new Subaru here with 2 years complimentary maintenance included.
What do you get when you take a widow who's ready to start dating, a singer aged out of the cruise circuit, a lawyer who was betrayed by her once ill husband, and a woman whose husband left her for the whore from Gate 4? Put them all together and you have Tales from the Woods, written by Terry Louise Fisher, known for classics such as L.A. Law and Cagney and Lacey, along with the old prose. Tales from the Woods follows these 4 ladies as they take advantage of new opportunities while starting a new chapter in life, all while meeting some pretty colorful characters along the way. Join us every Friday at 6 p.m. and Monday at noon, only on Village Television.
You made it. Years of hard work, investing, planning, and now you're here. The long-awaited reward you spent a lifetime looking forward to. But what now? After years of growing a nest egg, now you may want to manage it. Use it to fund your dreams. Make it last as long as you need it. And leave some for those you love. So what do you do? Wall Street continues to be uncertain, and some conservative options have dropped through the floor. How do you maintain opportunities for growth and reduce risk of loss from market changes? That's where we come in. We are financial professionals. From insurance products to tax reduction strategies and guaranteed retirement income you cannot outlive, provided by the claims-paying ability of insurance companies. You've worked a lifetime to get here. Let us help you enjoy it to the fullest. For a complimentary consultation, simply contact us today.
Well, we have Dan O'Wiley here today from Sterling Financial Advisors. Always good to have you on.
Nice bow tie.
You like that bow tie? I think, one day I got to get a spinning one.
Or one with lights.
One with lights.
The blinks.
Yeah, that would be really good. I keep thinking I'm going to do that for the holidays, and I always forget to get that. So
I guess you should have one with rabbits now coming up for Easter.
That's right. There you go. Hey, see, you just gave me an idea. Well, great to have you on today. And what we're going to talk about, of course, I mentioned it earlier, is how the stock market has performed during viral outbreaks over the years.
Fun ride on the stock market over the last week.
Right. And we were just kind of commenting, and I don't know, I haven't checked this at all. You would think that Costco stock would be up, but I don't know about that.
My daughter-in-law says she went to Target the other day and they just moved everything out of the aisle and put paper towels in the whole aisle.
Wow.
So I don't know. People, bless their heart, my daughter-in-law, or my daughter, she lives up in Utah. Somebody up there posted a thing on Facebook that says, all you idiots that went out and bought all of the children's aspirin, I can't find any now that my daughter is actually sick.
Yeah.
And so they're, they said, my daughter actually needs it right now, and everybody's just hoarding things. So,
yeah, yeah, very true.
But the market, I think it's more of an emotional thing than it's not like we've had bad unemployment numbers or bad manufacturing numbers.
There was like 250,000 jobs they announced added in February.
Right, the economy is still strong. I think they're more concerned about you know, the supply line from China
Right.
versus anything else, but we're still a strong economy, and you know, it's a more. I don't think it's the small investors that are doing this. I think
Right.
it's the institutional investors that are their programs indicate you ought to be selling or whatever. But
Right.
as they say in the market, you know, I think I read one time that the time to buy is when the blood runs in the streets.
Right.
You know, now may not be a bad time to be buying.
Yeah, that's true.
Who knows?
And it's interesting. Over the years, you brought some information, and there's a chart that you sent that I was going to put up. But it's quite interesting that over time, in some cases, when we've had these different types of outbreaks, the market actually went up. It dipped a little bit, then skyrocketed.
They
up
had
afterwards.
AIDS and SARS and, you know, the swine flu and everything.
Yeah.
The market actually, in a 1 month period, went up. That's because there's a big drop, and then they
Right.
realize that there's nothing to it.
Right.
And then it starts to work its way back up.
Mm-hmm.
You know, what dropped last week, 1,200 points, which was the largest drop,
Right.
and then it went up
Right.
1,200 points.
Right, yes.
You know, so we're kind of on this roller coaster right now, and I think that if there's a vaccine that gets developed, I think you'll see a lot of this go away.
Right.
You know,
Yeah.
you just don't know, but I think the market has been looking for a reason to correct.
Mhm.
You know, we've had this 10-year bull market, so to speak.
Right.
And there's really hasn't been anything that has given it reason to correct. I think that corrections are sometimes okay because it brings value back into the market.
Right. And it seems in general, the industries that are affecting the most, of course, the travel industry.
Right.
And in some cases, you could say like entertainment venues and things like that. But most everything else, is certainly the retail industry is doing fine.
We've got my wife and I have a trip planned to Hawaii in a couple weeks, and so we get the opportunity of flying on airplanes.
Yeah.
You know, and that's always a big thing. But you know, I mean, I don't know that it's any different than what it's always been.
Right.
You know, I mean, obviously that there's a little bit more concern, but if you look at who has the people that it affects as far as deaths and things like that, generally they're older people that have had health problems, like me.
Yeah.
No, I'm kidding.
Yeah.
Older people,
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
know, but generally, I think this is more an emotional situation than it is economical.
Right. And they mentioned that on the CNN special last night. And they mentioned flying in a plane.
Yeah.
And they go, you know what? You should always be wary, no matter when
you're
it
at.
is.
Yeah, it
is
doesn't-
maybe bringing wipes, and they said the tray table is the #1 thing.
Oh, really?
They go, that's true of any time.
Right, right.
No more so now than it was a year ago.
Right.
And surprisingly, and I didn't know this, I forget what it was, but how often the air in a plane has actually changed. I think they said 12 times an
Yeah,
hour.
it's recycled.
It's
Yeah,
actually quite a bit
and they
more.
clean it up. Yeah.
Yeah, and I didn't realize that.
Right. The thing about it is there's always buying opportunities with situations like this. Okay, the market was down, I think 12% last week. You know, in 1987 there was a stock market crash, and it went down 25% in one day.
Yeah.
Okay,
yes.
that's called Black Monday.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, at that time, the percentage was significant. It only went down 500 points, but it
Right.
represented
Right.
25%
Yeah, yeah.
in a day.
Yeah.
Now, if that was the case, it would be like 20 or 6,000 points
Yeah.
in one day.
Yeah.
And we got nervous because it went down 1,200
Right,
points.
right.
You know, so we need to take this into perspective along the way. That's not to say that it doesn't affect us psychologically, but you know, setting up a foundation for your plan where you aren't whipsawed back and forth by the market
Right.
is important.
Right, and you've mentioned that over and over again, that you know you want yourself and you want your clients to be able to sleep at night.
Right.
And there are ways to be able to do that to avoid that up and down. And you know, it doesn't mean you're going to be getting 15-20%.
Right, right.
But you're going to be sleeping at night, and you know your whatever you have, your equity is safe.
I had a gentleman come in, it's a fairly sizable estate last week. I mean, and he's always been in what I call the accumulation mode. I'm always trying to build more from, and he had several $1 million in his estate. And I talked to him about maybe taking a portion of that and setting up that foundation. So it's not whipsawed back and forth by the market. You know, rather than getting 8, 10, 15%, maybe you're getting 4 to 6%, but you're not going to be whipsawed back and forth. And if something goes to hell in a handbasket with the market, it doesn't affect your foundation. And so I think that's important to set up psychologically a secure things. I got a current client in right now that psychologically she can't take this. You know, she's got some money and she's got a few $1 million in the market, but that in and of itself is just freaking her out. You know?
And I can understand that.
So we're probably going to move her into a little bit more secure place, but it's going to create a lot more psychologically comfort to her, not to be worrying about it.
I love roller coasters, but not necessarily when it comes
well,
to that.
Going up the first hill is okay. It's going down the first hill is not so fun.
Well, if you want to get a hold of Dan, you certainly can. He is right up the street in Mission Viejo by the Social Security office off Cerro and Geronimo. And his number...
A couple of seminars coming up on the 12th and 16th.
Okay. And you got space available?
There's some space available. We hold those at Ruth, Chris, and Irvine. So it's not too far, maybe 15 minutes up the freeway. And if they would like to come, they could call the office.
All right, very good. The number is on the screen. And if you want, 859-8900 or sterlingfa.com. And, you know, they can help you out. Sit down and just give you a consultation and see if what you have fits.
We don't know if we can help until we meet with you. You know, so.
That's true. Good to see you, Dan.
Good to
take
see
care.
you.
We'll be right back.
All right.
Doing fist bumps today.
In a land of hopes and dreams lived a luxury lifestyle consultant with spectacular taste. One day he thought, I'll show lottery winners how to live like a millionaire.
I'm like gonna cry. Like, this is beautiful.
Pinch me. He scoured the land looking for the home of their dreams, which he slayed. So the families could live in plenty and live fabulously ever after.
All new My Lottery Dream Home, Friday night at 9 on HGTV.
This one is going to be a challenge for me.
Everything's moving 100 miles an hour.
This is your worst nightmare. Get out! Please, bring your dish forward.
MasterChef. Wednesdays are watch anytime on demand or Fox Now.
When I was first diagnosed, they gave me about 2 years to live.
After they took it out, they did some additional tests, and it found out that yes, it was a cancerous tumor.
I had an aorta dissection, and that triggered a stroke on top of it.
I've been in treatment a little over 2 years. They saved my life.
If I hadn't been pregnant, they would not have found that mass. If it hadn't been for Ben, I might not be here.
It was amazing that he has knowledge to do what he has to do to save me.
Well, I'd like to welcome back with us today Pastor Leland Lenz of the Lutheran Church, which is right up the street, up there on El Toro. And he's also, of course, with the Lutheran Heritage Club here in the village. And great to see you again, sir.
Great to see you, too.
Yes. you got a lot of stuff that's
There's a lot
coming
of things
up.
going on right now. So.
There are. And let's talk about one of the first ones that's coming up, because this actually started couple days ago on Wednesday, but goes all the way through April. Wednesdays, This will be at 11 a.m. And tell us about this.
Yeah.
A Lenten workshop.
Worship.
Yeah. I don't know what Lenten means. So,
so Lent is the season that leads up to Easter.
Sorry,
So
think
that's
I would
okay.
have known that.
That's okay. And so it's from a Latin word, which where we get lengthen.
Oh, okay.
So it's the spring season's getting longer, and it's the 40 days leading up to Easter.
Okay. Now I know when you just say Lent.
Yeah.
Okay.
And so it's kind of a tradition in Lutheran churches to have a midweek Lenten service.
Okay.
And so I grew up with that, and we've carried that on all these years. And so the cool thing about what we're doing this year is we're having first-person monologues. So people are portraying biblical characters.
Okay,
so
all right.
These are short services. They're only half hour long, from 11 to 11:30 in the morning. And then the evening at 6:30 to 7, same service.
Okay.
And so this week we had the centurion, we had the soldier of King Herod, and it was very well done. We have some really talented folks in our church we've been blessed with.
So you sort of act out the part? Okay.
Yeah, they actually come in character, in costume.
And that makes it fun.
Yeah, it does. It's interesting, and it brings a point and a thought, and we just have a song at the beginning, a song at the end, and some liturgy and some prayers, and then we have a soup luncheon right afterwards. So we eat a lot at our church.
Yeah, it seems like you do. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Who provides the soup?
We have a wonderful chef, Valerie Ellis. She's cooks for everything we do. And
wow.
She's just self-taught, but she really does a nice job.
That is great. And speaking of that, we'll get to the luncheons that you do. But because this is the next up as far as date goes, on March 8th, you're having the Concert of Gospel Praise Sunday School.
Yes, this is something special I don't want people to miss because Roger Walk and Dave Anderson and his wife, Dave and Barb Anderson, they've been to a church years ago and shared this story, but they crashed into the Bering Sea many years ago. And they all survived by holding onto gas cans in the frigid waters of the Bering Sea.
Wow.
And they survived. And so they have a Christian ministry and sing. They've got beautiful voices. So they're going to sing a lot of the old praise songs and gospel songs, Sunday school songs that people will be very familiar with. So that's this Sunday night, and it's at 6 o'clock. It's probably about an hour and 15 minutes long. Free will offering. Come and enjoy.
Yeah, very interesting story, I bet.
Yeah, it is. And I've heard it a couple of times, and it's very gripping. And how really God spared them.
Yeah, that is. Just to go for the story is enough right there.
Yes.
And of course, we know that your wife is very involved in with the musicals that you do. It was Sound of Music last year, am I right?
That's right.
And this year, another classic, The Music Man, which I was in high school.
Cool.
Not that I can sing, but I was there. This is a community, so you're having auditions for this coming up on March 14th and 21st, and then 15th and 22nd.
Yes. Yeah, Marsh is very excited about directing that again. And again, we have a lot of talented people in our church, but this is a community musical.
Right.
So we want people from Laguna Woods Village, we want people from all the surrounding area to come and be a part of it. It's just a lot of fun.
Yeah.
With all the stuff going on in the world right now, it's nice to have
Are you going to be in it?
I'm on standby to be in the quartet.
Okay.
Because I love to sing.
Oh, okay, sure.
I used to sing in barbershop quartets.
Okay. You're not going to be Harold Hill then?
No. I'm too old for Harold Hill, I think.
I think that's going to be really fun. So anybody can audition for this?
Yes, anybody can. In fact, we love to have more people from the community come in and join us. We've had some people from the Laguna Woods Theater Department be involved in it and help with it. We borrowed costumes and props.
Very nice. So, it's a fun musical.
Classic. It's a classic.
Great music. And like I said, I was in it. And it's when I first learned that the one song in it, Till There Was You, and I'm like, wait a second, isn't that a Beatles song? Well, not really. It was just the opposite.
Yes. Yeah.
All right, and of course, here's the luncheons that you do every Tuesday at 11 o'clock.
Every Tuesday, 11 o'clock. Like I said, Valerie fixes this beautiful luncheon for us. We sing the old hymns, we have devotions, celebrate birthdays, and we do have occasional guest speakers that come.
Right.
And so it's a beautiful time to make connections. And
it's just $5.
$5, yeah. And if they can't afford it, just put in whatever you can.
Okay. Now, coming up, we'll hear about this next time, but just so people know, in April 2nd, you have a free Lutheran Bible College concert choir.
Yes.
And where do these folks come from?
They come from Plymouth, Minnesota.
Wow.
And they are phenomenal. This is a real quality choir. And they come out and make a West Coast tour about every 5 years.
Wow.
And so they were here 5 years ago. And they just keep getting better and better. Andrew Hansen is he's the director, and he's just a young guy, and he's on fire for the choir and the music and the Lord, and it just comes across.
And they look like high school?
They're college.
Oh, college,
They're
okay.
Your early college years. It's a 2-year school.
Very good.
A Bible school.
And that will be April 2nd, and then coming up upon Sunday, April 5th,
yes.
Of course, your Passover that you do.
Yes, we always do this, Christ in the Passover. We've done this for years, and I keep thinking that maybe there's going to be not very many people will keep coming back, but every year it gets a little bit more and more. So we've continued to do it. Pastor Ron Michelson, he just does a superb job of sharing Christ in the Passover. So it's a Seder meal, but he makes the explanations of the meanings and how it goes together and points to Christ. And it's amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Very good. So that will be April 5th, and more than likely you'll be on like that a couple days before
I will be on before that so we can
you'll be on
remind
April,
everybody about
whatever
that.
day that is. April 3rd, you'll be on again.
Yeah.
I want to thank you. Say hi to Marcia for me.
I sure will.
And you know what? I'm not a very good singer, so I don't know if I'll be tried out for a music band. But either way, good luck.
Wonderful to see you today.
Yeah, good to see you. We'll be right back.
Okay.
Envision, the eye doctor's #1 choice.
I have worked with the doctors at Envision for over 20 years. Their experience, state-of-the-art technology, and positive outcomes have earned them my trust in taking care of our mutual patients.
With clear vision, all things are possible. To schedule your appointment today, contact us at 866-599-2740.
Did you know that the Laguna Hills Lodge was originally built as a place for relatives or friends to stay when they were visiting? In 1968, Laguna Woods' residents built the first 2 buildings of the lodge because they wanted a place close by for visitors to stay. Since then, the lodge has become the spare bedroom for the Laguna Woods' residents. The lodge has received the TripAdvisor Award of Excellence 8 years in a row. We invite you to stay in one of our recently remodeled garden rooms and take advantage of a special offer for Laguna Woods' residents, family, and friends.
Today, we are marking the beginning of a new era as City of Hope opens its first location right here in Newport Beach.
We have 500 scientists and doctors who have dedicated their lives to beating cancer. So they use that intellectual capital to try to make sure every patient gets the best care possible that's known to science.
Hi, I'm Sharon. I am so pleased to welcome you to JTV. We're a 24/7 home shopping network focused exclusively on jewelry and gemstones. And because we believe every woman deserves to be lifted up, we love to help her sparkle, keep her informed, and make her smile. Our viewer is passionate about jewelry and gemstones, and we share her passion. Because of that, she keeps coming back, making us one of the top retailers in the United States. We sell extraordinary products at extraordinary prices. Welcome to JTV.
Well, our movie today is based on the children's TV series that's been on, I don't know how long now, maybe 20 years, Dora the Explorer. And this one's Dora, the Lost City of Gold. This is a live-action version of that, and it came out last year. And having spent most of her life exploring the jungle, nothing could prepare Dora for her most dangerous adventure yet, high school. Accompanied by a ragtag group of teens and Boots, the monkey, Dora embarks on a quest to save her parents while trying to solve the seemingly impossible mystery behind the lost civilization. And good movie, just a fun movie. And as I said, this is based on the series that's been on for years. And it stars Isabella Merced as Dora. And I remember when my daughter, when she was 2 years old, dressed up as Boots the monkey for Halloween. So I'd show that picture, but she would not be happy about that. All right, then on Monday, the Monday movie is called Where'd You Go, Bernadette? And this came out also last year, and it stars Cate Blanchett. And it's about a former architect, Bernadette, who seems to have it all. She's got a great home in Seattle, a successful and loving husband, a brilliant teenage daughter who's about to attend boarding school. And then she suddenly disappears without a trace, and her concerned family sets off on an exciting adventure to try and find her and solve the mystery of where she might have gone. This is billed as a comedy, drama, and mystery, and as I said, it stars Cate Blanchett in the title role of Bernadette. So that will be at 2 and at 6 o'clock on Monday. Now let's get to the weather, and as I've been saying, we are a nice day today. Very pleasant out, about 70 degrees or so. A little bit of clouds, but overall pretty nice and mild. However, we're going to drop some about 5 degrees or so tomorrow, and we're going to have a little bit of rain over the weekend, but then a good-sized system, finally, first time really in 2020, is going to be coming in on Monday. Now, it looks like it's going to come in probably later in the evening, 9, 10 o'clock or so, and then really kind of hit us hard for Tuesday and Wednesday, maybe spilling over into Thursday. All told, this system could bring 3 inches or more of rain around Southern California. So that's good news. We need that, and maybe not all at once. It'd be better not to get it a little bit, but it's great that's coming in. Also bring a lot of snow in the Sierras. Here we are the weekend, as you can see around the state. Today and tomorrow you'll see more rain up north and snow in the Sierras. On Saturday, then as it drops down here, we'll see a little bit of rain, as I've been saying, but overall, not a cold system. This one isn't, so the temperatures will remain fairly mild. All right, you have a really good weekend. We will see you on Monday. We're going to have the Emeritus Institute, Village Library, the PC Club, and RadNet. We'll see you then. Bye-bye.